All right. Well, that's an interesting way to start it. It is Tuesday night. We're back with another episode of Goal Horns and Fight Songs. At least one of us had a very, very good weekend. The other one, not so much. So, second weekend of conference play. Some surprising results, some not so surprising results, but still, for the most part, good hockey, kind of like we've been expecting.
Yeah, no, definitely. Western's sitting at the bottom of the rankings, not where I think they want to be in the second week of conference play, but I feel like I did say that Denver could sweep them
You did. You
going
did.
into this weekend, which I was not excited about saying, but I said it.
Yep, you 100% said it because that was the one that I thought was going to be a split, and I thought maybe St. Cloud would sweep us. It went the other way.
No, you guys are rolling. That top line with Plant and Shagabe is cooking. Western apparently still hasn't figured anything out. They are dealing with injuries, but first decided that a retooling of lines needed to happen. And Mike is making all kinds of weird noises at the bar.
The other Mike, our guest Mike,
Uh, yeah,
discount
joining us
Mike.
again is our buddy Mike Shotley, former Ice Crew member at Lawson Ice Arena, former president of the Lawson Lunatics. Good friend of mine. He's going to come and share his also disappointments in the early goings of
At
the
least,
Western hockey program.
at least they didn't have to watch those games.
Oh, I got a nice good view up close and personal. I will say it was a nice view of Zachariah Wisdom's goal on Friday, which just barely trickled over the goal line. That puck grew little arms and was like, I'll make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Look, I'm over. And then it was a goal.
I think the favorite message that Wes sent me all weekend was I was busy. I got my first year ever, so I spent like all day Saturday hauling it out with my cousin. I look at my phone, 5 o'clock, Wes. I've never been more disappointed being at a hockey game or whatever it was. I'm like, ooh, it must not be going very well.
Dude, I don't know. I have mixed feelings so far at this point in the season. Because outside of last year, which was, can we say, an anomaly at this point, Western goes
Yes.
8-1-1 to start the year. If you look back at the previous years under Firsch, he's generally pretty close to 500, slightly above 500. Some years he's 6-4, other years he's 5-4-1. This is the first year that he's legitimately 500 at 5-5, but not outside the realm of normality to be a 500 team 10 games into the season for Western. Last year, again, they got off to that ridiculous start, 8-2-1 or 8-1-1. But there seems to be it just doesn't seem like the team knows what they're doing. They don't know who they are. There's no real consistency from week to week or even shift to shift right now. Like I said, there was a huge jumble of lines. In some regards, the lines looked a little bit better. It looked like they were putting meaningful shots on net as opposed to everything. But the results, the results mean something. But everyone, you want to trust the process, and maybe we're just getting too caught up in the results right now. But the process also seems like it's struggling a little bit, and I just don't know where to be or think
Oh,
with this team right
I
now.
think the process started a little late on this team
It certainly
after
could be.
what I saw in the offseason. So
I mean, definitely, certainly could be.
I think our buddy Paul Hornstein put it best, and I said this last week. The ingredients are there. It's just what does the chef do with the ingredients? And it wasn't a knock on the coaching staff saying they were inept or couldn't do anything because you had talented players. Yes, being a good coach, having talented players helps. You can be the best coach in the world, but if you don't have a team, yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's how do you find that right recipe? Because you might know what you want to make, but it takes a little bit of time to figure out that exact recipe uh, to get the result you want and then produce it consistently. So I think that's where Western's at because you guys did lose a bunch of guys and a bunch of impact players.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
I feel like we lost the the right players at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
It was guys that had been here for an extended period of time. Yes, we lose Drasner and Kramer, who had only been here a year, who stepped in and were some experienced guys who were able to lean their experience onto the younger players. But
Interesting.
we also lost goals like Cam Rowe, uh,
I mean, I think the biggest loss was
Cam
Washi.
Knuble, Tim Washi, Wyatt Shingothi. I mean, those three guys, Shingothi, Cam Knuble, and Tim Washi, they were here for 5 years together. They were
Yeah.
a legit core, and now we have 22 players on the team who have been with First for a year or less. Whether that's incoming freshmen or guys who are juniors and seniors who have only been here a year, like Valente and Grant Slukinski. You know, he's a junior, but he's only played for Western for 1 year. So you have to rebuild the culture through the freshmen and the younger players. And it just seems like we're in the middle of rebuilding that culture here with the players that are still here, because there aren't as many culture carriers as there were last year or even the year before.
Yeah.
And
I think the stat that you pointed out to me in one of our earlier conversations of how many players have only played, what was it, like 40 games or less?
yeah, 50 games or less, 22
Yeah.
players.
That's absurd just to have on one team. You
Yeah.
would at least think you've got a pretty even distribution of like half have at least played that many and half haven't.
Right. And I think this might be the danger of the transfer portal and NIL and all this other stuff for guys, and so many guys leaving early. We're getting to that point where, you know, you can only recruit. I mean, you have so many recruit guys, and you start filling roster spots, and then you get a guy who leaves after only a couple seasons or whatever, and now you got to find an extra spot that you weren't necessarily predicting to have to fill as early. So now you look to the portal. Is that portal guy, is he an experienced guy who's played at a few different spots, or is it a still like a freshman who didn't play at all last year and he has a redshirt year that you can take advantage of? Like, what are you guys looking for in the portal? First has done a great job of mixing those guys in, but this year there's something missing.
I don't think it's necessarily the transfer portal and the NIL stuff. I think it's more a product of that extra year from COVID now catching up to teams, because you had guys that were staying that extra year, taking up spots for the freshmen. And then yes, the transfer portal helps because the freshmen, they're like, well, that we're maybe going to be sophomores, they're like, well, we thought we were going to maybe have a spot, we're going to go somewhere else where they don't have that. And now you're losing large groups of guys in a single year to graduation, pro deals, or they are leaving because they just didn't have a spot. I think that's kind of more the culmination of everything than just NIL and transfer portal stuff. Because I mean, you look at UMD, you're kind of going through right now what we went through last year, where you have a lot of young guys that are trying to carry the load. And
but I think the biggest thing that UMD is doing now is they're putting in a lot of effort. Like you watch them play, and they're all playing hard, and they're all playing together. Nobody's trying to do the extra thing. Nobody's trying to do more than they're supposed to, and that's what I see with Western right now. Is everybody's trying to be Superman, and when you do that, the team just doesn't play well together.
And I mean, I made this point after the Michigan series. There was a lot of great individual defense in that game. Very little good team defense. There's a lot of individual effort in the Western team. Very little good team effort. And we saw some of those mistakes again against Denver this weekend. And although the scoreboard says it, I think Western got more outplayed Friday than Saturday. Saturday, they just got shots that were going in, and it just seemed like anytime Western made a mistake, Denver was there to capitalize. But Friday, I do think Denver far and outweighed the style of play that Western was trying to play, and just played a much better game, even though the score was significantly closer than it could have and should have been Friday night.
Yeah. What night was it that they gave up the shorthanded goal?
Saturday.
Saturday?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was like on the second penalty of the game or something. I don't know. I sent it to somebody. I told somebody about it.
You probably send it to me.
I
More
think,
than
it was,
likely.
I think it was you and Trev.
Yeah.
Probably.
The old
yeah.
group chat.
Saturday. Bad turnover goal. Power play gives up a shorty on the power play, takes a penalty. Just stupid stuff that adds up to a losing combination. That's literally how you explain this team right now. Just bad penalties. The power play showed up Saturday. They got a couple power play goals late in the game, but by that point, I mean the game was already 4-0, 5-1, 5-2, or something. So I
Too
don't
little,
know.
too late.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and it sucks because you don't want to make excuses like, oh, it's just because there's so many new guys or whatever. When that was kind of the harping point last year, that there was 16 new guys, but first found a way to win a national title, and you looked at other teams that had so many new guys and struggled, like Omaha, I think, had a bunch of new guys. They have a bunch of new guys this year too, but they seem to be playing much better hockey this year. Western avoided injuries all year last year, aside from maybe a couple games to guys who were kind of quote unquote lower on the line sheet, and didn't necessarily play every day or every other shift, and they were able to overcome those. But a lot of big injuries early, especially on the D-core this year. Jona Väisänen expected to be out the entire season, most likely. He was at the game Saturday in a thigh to ankle brace. After the game, first said Bookman is being evaluated. They're not sure if he's day to day or a long term injury as of yet. Zach Sharp is, I think, considered still day to day. He played extremely well this weekend. Looked like he bounced back. So hopefully that's he's healing up and recovered well from the weekend, and we won't see him missing too many more shifts or games here. But yeah, a team that avoided injury last year is certainly getting their fair share early, much like we saw with some teams last year. That was kind of UNO's issue last year, was injuries early put them in a hole. But again,
same with St. Cloud.
Yeah, the St. Cloud got them November. About now is when I think Posh went down for the first time last year, and then he came back kind of near the end.
He came back the weekend that St. Cloud played Western in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think he played that Saturday.
Yeah.
And they told him.
Yeah. And did not look great that weekend. However, he is crushing it in the AHL. He definitely made the right choice to move up and has played extremely well in the AHL with Colorado. Hi, Paul. Paul's in the chat. Everybody say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
There you go. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't watch any other games. I only watched the Western ones because I was there and I wasn't gonna leave early because I've paid all of my monies to be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, you want me to go to the front door?
Yeah, I ended up, all I watched was the UMD games when I got home, and both days, I guess. Saturday was it was Sunday. But ended up Friday was a lot more complete game by UMD. Saturday ended up having to go to overtime. It was a solidly contested game, and then Max Plant ended up surpassing Brett Hull for third all time for fastest to 50 points in his college career. I think he did it this was his 36th game, and Brett Hull did it in 37. And it was the overtime winner, and just a beautiful shot. I mean, most goalies, there is no possible way they're going to stop it. Like, you have to get lucky to stop that shot on a one-timer in overtime. But Brett Larson on Friday after the game, they were playing his comments back on Saturday as I was pulling in on the radio, and he just said, "We had no room. they